Hi, I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber, coming to you on YouTube Live. Now, if you've never been here before and say you're watching this on the recorded version, here's what this is. This is a live that we do every Monday night. Please feel free to come by. If this is your first time here, you may want to go ahead and listen just to check it out. But if you came looking for something particular, you know what? Click onto one of the videos on the channel, see what you see, find the information. Here's what's neat about the lives. We have lots of plumbers, apprentices, people that want to get in the trades, company owners. There's a lot of people in here. So if you hang around, you might get some great questions answered and learn some great information. So, man, welcome to the channel. We talk about all things plumbing, and I love that. I love that the opportunity that we get, because me being in the trades for as long as I have, number one, I've been doing this for a while, probably way too long, to be honest. But the thing is, I still love it. So in here on my channel, I actually talk to people all the time about why they may want to get into the trades, not just plumbing, but the trades. The things that I talk about here on YouTube, to be honest, you could change the word plumbing to electrician, HVAC tech, roofer, whatever it is, and it's going to help you out. Now, the neat thing about it is that, man, I know so many electricians, plumbers, roofers, HVAC techs, landscapers, window cleaners, all the above. And man, we all talk. And I was reading some comments earlier, and somebody literally asked me, says, what is it that, I can do to learn this, because I'm an HVAC tech, but I want to learn. And the thing is, the things that we talk about, these are things that, a lot of us get together and we talk, whether it's at conferences, whether it's at events, and sometimes we just call each other on the phone and say, hey man, look, I'm having a problem. Can you help me with this? And that's the neat thing about a lot of the videos that we do. We're trying to share information. We're trying to give people great information to see what's going on and how things are going. Now, tonight's going to be a little bit different. I actually do not even see the live chat, so I don't know who all's in here, and I just realized that. Normally, I like to scroll through, say hello, and actually, we may try and do something a little different. I don't know if it'll let me do it or not. I don't know if it'll. We're going to play tonight. Tonight's going to be a little bit different. Those of y'all that were in here last time, know that we had some trolls jump in, have some fun, which, you know what? It's life in the big city. So I'm going to tell Will we're doing it a little bit different. I've actually got help in here tonight, which, oh my God, I love that. A lot of y'all know Will because you've been in here long enough. You've seen him jump in and help me, or you also are connected with me on LinkedIn, and you know that he's in on our LinkedIn Lives, which is another great thing. So I've got Will in here, and what we're doing, and I'm trying to see if and I might not even be able to see it anyway. I can see some of the comments, man, I got to get my eyes fixed, but having Will in here is really good because it lets me focus on communicating, answering questions and stuff like that. And Will, if you've got any good questions, go ahead and pop something up. We're going to try it a little bit different tonight. I'm literally going to comment on questions and stuff like that. When good things come up that Will thinks I need to ask, Will's also got a microphone. Will, can you say hello to everybody?
Hello, everyone.
Aha, see, check that out. Y'all, and really it's me talking with my hand below the table or something. But, I've got Will in here to help me out and make sure that we get through things good. But there's certain things that I want to talk about, because I want to talk about where we're at with plumbing and the trades in general as I see across the United States, but also what we can do to help each other. So how soon after getting your plumber's license can a person get self-employed? And one, this is a good question, because really that's going to depend on where you're located. And I say that because, and I put out a video recently about what license is required, where it's required and whatnot. Now we've done a lot of stuff here lately, and I'll talk about that more in a second. But the neat thing about it is, to be honest, depending on where you're located. Now here in Texas, and I can tell you about Texas very well because this is where I'm at, but you can get your tradesman license in 2 years, your journeyman in 4. So that means 4 total. So you may skip the tradesman. You may go straight to your journeyman after 4 years. Here's the thing. If you go through a DOL training program, a Department of Labor approved training program, what will happen is you can get your license in 1 year after that. So in Texas, you could literally have your master's license and open your own business 5 years from the day you start getting into plumbing. Now, I wouldn't recommend that. I would say, look, unless you have already built a clientele, you know what you're doing, you know where you're going, you've got a good business mind, you've got a lot of plans made, you've invested a lot in tools and things like that, then I would say, you know what, you may want to take a while. I hate to say it, I waited 35 years before I opened my company. And to be honest, I'm probably glad that I did, because I'd have done a lot of things wrong and I would have screwed up a lot of stuff. But then again, one of my best friends opened his up, God, and he got his journeyman, then he got his master's, then he opened his own company, and he's done very, very well with it. So it really does, it can go either way and work both ways. But one, it's a really good deal. And, you know, let me know or you know, put a note in there, a comment in there, and let Will know, you know, where you're at. And if I know what the licensing is like there, I'll see what I can do to help you. I do want to point out that, you know, number one, if y'all are new here and you have not subscribed to this channel, you know, subscribe and ring the bell, because, and better than that, subscribe and share it. Share this with other plumbers. Share it with your Facebook groups. Share it with some plumbers that could jump in here and either lend a hand, show some knowledge, help out a little bit. I'm not the only plumber in the world, and it's really nice to have other plumbers in here that can actually reach out and say, hey, look, I'm in that area. Here's what it's like. So I really enjoy getting people in here. And J Hall says ProPress, pros and cons. And J Hall, here's the deal. Look, I love ProPress. I think there's a time and a place for it. I truthfully think in the future, it's going to get to that is what plumbers are using. And the reason being is the labor. You can literally cut a piece of pipe, throw it together, boom, 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 crimp it, and you're done. And I say crimp it, and you're done. Squeeze it tight. And the thing is, the pros about it, it's a labor saver. You know, I talked to a plumbing company out of Chicago, and this is a mentor that I really do respect, always have. And he was getting to where they were doing water heater installs with ProPress. Now, I've always hard piped it. And to me, I love that. I think a solder joint, a new valve, everything about it, I think, to me, man, that's a good looking installation. The thing about ProPress is it's not always true plumb and square. I've seen people just force it in and get it in, or they're trying to put two fittings too close together. There's a lot of things about it that, to me, I don't know. I understand it's great for certain repairs, and trust me, I've got the gun. I've got the ProPress tool. I've got the Mega Press. I love it for gas. I think it's great that you can just cut a gas line, pull it apart, stick a T in there, squeeze it together, crimp, tie onto it, and you're good. And a lot of times as a residential plumber, that will help me do an installation where other plumbers maybe need to take the entire line apart to do it. And I think that helps me out a lot. So I love that we've got that availability and tool, and we use it, and it really does come in handy. So Jay Hall, sorry about that. I do think that is really, it's a great question and a great way to look at it. What are the pros and the cons? The pros, look, it's going to save you money. It's always going to save you money. But the big thing is, you know, what's it going to look like? And to me, that's what I've got to look at. Richie Reuter in the house, 915 Richie Plumber. Good to see you in here. You know, and guys, those of y'all that jump in often, I don't know if y'all have noticed, we've got a few new things going on. And one of the cool things is what we're now doing merch. So we've got merchandise, and it's probably across the bottom of the screen. I don't know. I'm looking at mine. I don't see it. But I know that it is in there. We got some cool stuff, and we got some cool stuff coming up. Did we put the new mask up yet today? I know we talked about it. We've got a new mask coming out. And guys, I'm telling you, it's going to be cool. The fun thing about it is, look, y'all know that we're always having fun. You know, we're always trying something different. And I had a lot of people reach out to me about, the tuber turds, which is what I call, and our fans, our members, our group, people that jump in here, people that are here on a regular basis. Look, tuber turds, man, I love it. I think it's neat. It's something we came up with a while back. But there's a lot of other things that we're working on. And, remember, this is going to be my sponsor wall. It was empty for a little bit too long, so we ended up putting our banner up there. Texas Green Plumbing is my plumbing company right here in Richardson, Texas. And, man, I love what we do, but for the YouTube channel, we've got some cool stuff we're working on. And here in the next week or two, we're going to be making some announcements that I think are going to be really, really cool. So, Zephael is what how I'm going to pronounce that. You don't need a plumber's license to be self-employed. Just hire some plumbers to work under you. In a way, you're right. You can start a business in Texas and hire a responsible master plumber and do everything legally. Now, you're right, though. In any state in the world, you don't have to hire plumbers or don't have to be a plumber. You can hire anybody and do plumbing. But make sure you're doing what the laws of your state or city require. Because in that video that we did where we talked about the licensing and what's required, we found out there's a lot of states that don't even require a license here in the United States. So check with your municipality, check with your local city, find out what they do. What do they require? Because some of them actually may require a local license or a local test or a registration. There's a lot of different things that a lot of different places are requiring. But you're right. I know an apprentice here in the North Texas area that has hired master plumbers so they can do work off that master's license. And he's the one out selling the work. He's the one out finding it. He's the one out running the company, but he's doing some really cool things. And I think he's got a great business mind. I think in the long run, he's going to do great. So by Michael White, real estate says, I heard a rumor the state of North Carolina was going to change the code. So cold was on the left and hot was on the right. Good idea or a bad idea? I think that's a bad idea. I don't know why anybody would change that part of the code. Here's the deal. It's great for blind people. They always know hot water's on the left and cold is on the right. So I'm not sure why anybody would change that. I've not heard anything about it. But look, cities and municipalities come up with some strange reasons to do all kinds of crazy things and do whatever they want. So it's just something that we get to deal with, but it's life in the big city. I see we have Deontay Richardson in here. Good to see you. Hey, Roger, how can I succeed in my first year in the union as a plumber apprentice? Interview this Thursday coming up. Deontay, man, here's the deal. And I've made a lot of videos about this. But number one, go in with a good interview. Know what you're coming in for. Be ready for it. I've done videos. I think Julie and I have done videos, and maybe most of that's over on LinkedIn, but there's a lot of things that you can do. Number one, to be mentally prepared. You want to come in. It does not matter what union you're in. And I'll tell you what, I know some of the union training centers aren't great, but it's an education program. And don't get me wrong, I think the union training program is great. I don't know that they've always got the right instructors in. And I know this because I talk to union apprentices across the United States, and I get to hear from them because of what I do. They'll reach out to me and say, hey, look, I don't like this or I don't like that. What should I do? And I always tell them to contact their business agent, contact their business manager, let them know, and go from there. Because, look, those of y'all that have been here long enough know I believe the union is a great thing for the employees, and I really do. I don't think it's good for me as a company owner, but as an employee, I think it's great. And especially somebody wanting to get into the trades, their Department of Labor training program is set up to educate you, teach you, and help you do well. And the neat thing about it is if you've got some really good instructors in there, and I'll tell you what, I have met some instructors across this country that I think are some of the smartest freaking plumbers I've ever met. And not just plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, HVAC techs, electronics people. I mean, man, there are so many people out there that I've met that I think are phenomenal. And I got to tell you, it is a good deal. Now, Deontay, getting through that first year, always show up to learn. Show up to learn, show up to get an education, respect the instructors and plumbers and everybody you work with. And guys, this goes for all y'all. Never stop learning. Whether it's your first year, your fifth year, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. I've been in this 40 years and I still learn and still learn all the time. So it really is a big deal, but it's going to be up to you what you do, how you do it. But Deontay, I think that's a great question. I'm glad that you asked it because, you know, that shows what kind of person you are. Look, I want to do well. I don't want to just get in the union. I want to excel in the union. And that really is a good deal. Vlad Alabin says, how do you interview and screen cut plumbers and what do you look, screen out plumbers and what do you look for? You know, again, man, Vlad, that's another really good one because to me, here's what we do. And we've got a testing company, a third-party testing company that does a basic questionnaire interview. And it lets you know people's mindset, their motivators, their disc profile, things like that. Because I want to bring the right people in to the right team. And we've spent a lot of time working on what we do and how we do it. And I think we've got a good team together. So I'm looking for somebody that kind of fits the team. But I will tell you this, and I think if you asked any plumbing company owner out there, if he had somebody come in and enter in an interview that really just impressed him, really blew him away, came in with the right attitude, dressed decent. I mean, look, you don't have to dress amazing, but come in, dress like you want the job. I mean, man, I come in, every time I'm on here, I've got on iron shirts, starched jeans, but that's the image that I want to present to my customers every day. Now, if I had someone come in and apply for a job like that, which every time that I went to a different union contractor, when I showed up to talk to them, man, starched jeans, starched shirt, tucked in. Don't get me wrong, it's not tucked in very often anymore. But I wanted to make sure that I looked the part that I wanted. Now, don't wear a suit and tie in. Don't do anything like that because I'm going to think, okay, this guy is not a plumber or he wants a job in the office, not out in the field, which is where I really need him. And I want to be able to look at that and know by looking at you, this is the kind of guy, girl, that I want out in the field representing my company. This is the person that I want to put in front of my customers. And I say that because if I want to put you in front of my customers, that means you represent our company well, and I think you'll go out and represent it well to customers. So Vlad, thank you. That really is a good question. I know I kind of ramble a little bit, but I really think that at the end of the day, it's having a great impression. And we've got videos about this, if you hadn't seen them, where we talk about going in, meeting the people, shaking their hand, looking them in the eye, getting to know them, and asking other questions too. And I think I've made an entire video on just that interview process. So, you know, go in there, check it out, and let me know what you think. So Ryan Miles says, I'm a journeyman plumber in South Florida, 10 years experience working on custom homes. And I was wondering what you think is a fair salary or benefits for a non-union plumber. And man, Ryan, again, man, the questions are great tonight. Ryan, it's going to depend on where you're at, because what I can tell you is I can tell you about what plumbers are making in Texas, in the Dallas area, in the Houston area. I talked to a lot of them. The thing is, what you're making in Florida may be completely different. And you said, I believe that you were, okay, custom homes. So yeah, non-union. So here's what I would tell you is find out what the union's making and try to get close to that. And I say that because I've got a real good friend, the one I was talking about earlier, that owns his own open shop company, and he pays as good or better than the union does. But he wants to take care of his guys. He wants to stay ahead of the pay scale. That way they're not ever wanting to leave. They're not wanting to come to work for me because they know me too. But he wants to make sure that he takes good enough care of them that they don't want to go anywhere. They're happy where they're at. They've got a lot of work. They're doing things right. And at the end of the day, man, he pays them good. So if you take care of your employees always, man, they're not going anywhere. But my big thing to think about is what you got to do is figure out what plumbers in your area are making. Start with union, because that's normally an easy one to figure out. Call down the hall and say, hey, I'm thinking about getting in the union. What is scale right now? What do y'all pay? And remember, though, that scale has benefits on top of it. So scale here in Dallas right now is about $33, $34 an hour. I've got a $13, $14 benefits package. So, I mean, that's $47, $48 an hour is what a plumber cost me. So, know what you got going on, know what you're looking at, and make sure you're comparing apples to apples. Super J's in the house. Good to see you here. Man, I am doing fantastic. I got to tell y'all, these last few weeks have been really good. I'm still short a plumber. I'm looking for a specific plumber, though. I mean, my plumber doesn't need to be like a suit and tie plumber, but I want a lead plumber. I want like a foreman type, somebody that other plumbers can look to and go to and get information and help and whatnot. Well, I thought I'd catch my subscriber number. Man, our thing, like I said, things are going great this week. Our numbers are freaking going through the roof. Our views, our subscribers, our watch time minutes, everything we're doing is really going through the roof. And I think that's great. The biggest problem with it is that, man, we can't keep up. I cannot keep up with all the comments. Deontay Richardson asked a comment a while ago about the first year. And Deontay, I'm sorry, because I know you've asked that same question over in one of the videos. So, man, I'm sorry, but I'm glad you're in here. Okay, so Weekend Handyman says, I'm installing a max tub, floor slants from back to front. If I level the tub, the apron will not connect with the floor. Max specifies no shims for the apron. Is there a way I can support it? Oh, man, that's a good one. There is what I would probably be looking at is an Ardex, some kind of a flooring, a float that you can put in there to either level it up, because your choice is either level the floor up under the tub or take out concrete in the back where the back will set down a little bit. That will bring the whole thing down. You're right. You don't want to shim that skirt. Now, one thing you may be able to do is put a grout bed. I don't know if any of you plumbers in here actually still put a grout bed down around a toilet whenever you set it, but I've worked with some plumbers before that would actually set the toilet on a bed of grout. That way that grout would, I mean, man, it would get hard. It would build up, and I mean, it would be like setting that toilet on concrete. You could probably do the same thing with a tub and then wipe it almost like you would a caulk joint and see what happens. Now, setting tubs is one, guys. Look, and removing the old tub, it's a lot of fun. And the thing is, be careful when you're estimating jobs like that, because you never know what you're going to get into, something like that. And if you hadn't worded your estimate right and done things properly, it may be a really hard thing to make money on and get caught up and do it right. So Rusty Shackelford, how are you doing today? Says, I'm nervous about starting a plumbing career. I'm a trucker right now, and moving into plumbing is taking a small pay cut. I'm getting a $250 an hour cut. Rusty, here's what I would tell you, man. Look, don't worry about the $250 an hour cut. You're going to make that up pretty quick. Here's the thing, man. Plumbing, I think you've got a potential. I know. I mean, I've got videos where I've said, look, if you want to make $100,000 a year, here's how to do it. Rusty, what part of the country are you in? And the reason I ask is, I know that the union here in the Dallas area, you get 10% raises per year. So right now that's $340 a year, somewhere around in there. You get a cost of living. You get the raises that are negotiated in the contract. So I mean, really, there's some great opportunity there to move up, to do well. But guys, here's the thing, and I think we did this video a week or two ago, and Will, you may remember, but we were talking about, look, you can continue to learn your way up. And I think it got released today. Yeah. We made it last week. Here's the thing about it is, look, I started out knowing the exact same thing y'all do, or the same thing you did. And that was nothing. So Rusty, what I'll tell you is, look, you're getting into this from getting out of trucking. I got into plumbing, then I got out and did other things and got back into plumbing. But at the end of the day, there's not a plumber in the world that knew how to do plumbing before he started. He learned it. And as an apprentice, you can learn it. Now, some people may learn it as a handyman, some may learn it from their dad, but you can learn it. And then you get in the trades and always keep learning. And I know I say plumbing, but guys, it's any trade. If you want to be a roofer, an electrician, guys, it's the same thing. Get in there and learn it and tell yourself, I'm going to learn to be better. I'm going to learn my way up. So I got into the union after I already had my journeyman license. But after I got in the union, I got my master's. I got my master med gas, my master water supply protection specialist, my master multi-purpose residential fire protection sprinkler specialist, my RMP. I kept learning. I started studying construction management. I moved up from journeyman to director of operations for a mechanical contractor in a union. So, Rusty, you've got an opportunity that I don't think as a truck driver you'd have because, and look, man, truckers are always busy and there's a lot going on, but I truthfully think the trades are going to be the way of the future because not that many people are getting into it. People are going to be paying more for it. And I used to say before coronavirus hit that I thought within 5 years, plumbers would be making about $100 an hour on their check. And I got to tell you, I still don't think it's wrong because for every 5 plumbers that retire, 1 is getting into the trade. And guys, that's going to be a supply and demand issue in the future. And if you're a plumber, you're going to be making bank. So GasCast says, what jobs should a homeowner take on and which ones should be left to the experts? And that's a really good question. I teach a lot of people in my videos how to do a lot of things. And believe it or not, the very first videos we made, it was for homeowners. I wanted to teach homeowners here in the Dallas, Texas area, how to fix certain things themselves. And I wanted them to learn how to do it because there's just a lot of things that, man, a homeowner can fix pretty easy. A homeowner can flush a water heater. A homeowner can change a flapper on a toilet. A homeowner can do a lot of things that, man, if you'll just watch a video, it's not very hard to do. Then I started realizing I had plumbers watching, saying, hey, look, I want to learn to do this. Here's the thing. Here in Texas, legally, if a home is registered to you, if it is filed with the IRS as your homestead, you can do any plumbing repair on it you want to, but you still have to get it permitted and inspected just like a plumber. So I don't mind people doing their own plumbing. Matter of fact, I hope that they will, and I hope that I'm the one that gets to teach them, because if I can teach them how to repair a toilet, how to do a water heater flush, how to do something fairly easy like that, how to change a seat on a toilet, how to change a shower head. We need to write those down, Will. These are easy ones. We've got videos that we're making. So, you know, the thing is, if I can teach them how to do that, and y'all think about this in your area, because you can eventually do the exact same thing. But if you can teach people how to do things like that, when they come up to a problem that they can't handle, guess who they're going to call? So GasCast, I tell you what, I think it's just like anything else. What do I feel comfortable working on my car? I change my own brakes. I rotate my tires. I've changed radiators out. I've taught Will how to change a radiator out and said, go do it. So this is how you do it. See you later. Call me if you have a problem. But I think we learn that way. And I think sometimes too, it's really good to know, like, I can do that if I have to, but I don't think I'd turn into an engine and start rebuilding it. Although I've done that before. That's not my forte. It's not my cup of tea. It's not what I'm great at. I'll stick to plumbing, but do I think homeowners can do a lot of the plumbing things themselves? Absolutely. If I didn't, I wouldn't be showing them how. Lee Harvey Oswald's in the house. Man, I'm in Dallas too, so you know. Says, my shower is filling with water and slow draining when I use it. My toilet is also slow draining. There seems to be backflow from my toilet in my shower. I'm confused. Lee Harvey, don't be confused. It is a slow draining line. It's probably the main coming off your toilet, because chances are your shower, depending on how your bathroom's laid out, the shower normally drains into a Wisconsin or a fitting on that toilet. So that is why they're both draining slow like that. And it could just be right there. It may be further down. There's no way of knowing. It depends on how full of water it is when you go to take a shower. You may be able to go to the box store or go to supply.com and get a closet auger and clean it out. There's a lot of things you may be able to do, but at the end of the day, you've got a stoppage somewhere. And if you can't figure it out, clean it out yourself, it's something that you may end up having to call a plumber for. So Lee Harvey, this is one that, per the question a while ago from GasCast, yes, I think things like this a homeowner can do themselves and it not be a problem. But I mean, guys, think about it. We can go to box stores these days and rent sewer machines. We can rent trucks to carry that sewer machine home if we need to. There's so many different things that we can do that it's logical. Why wouldn't we try if we're that homeowner and if we're trying to save a little money, do things better? Because, guys, I got to tell you, the videos that I make, and I'm not doing this to take money out of plumbers' hands. Don't get me wrong. There are some people out there that they're not going to call a plumber no matter what. They're going to do it. So my thing is, at least maybe we can teach them the right way. And maybe they won't get hurt. Their family won't get killed, things like that. So I really don't mind helping them out. But, people have to decide what they think they're capable of doing. I could watch a video on brain surgery. It doesn't mean I'm going to do it. But, then again, if my wife let me, I might try. You never know. All right. David, how we doing? I looked at an apprenticeship today, but they're currently not taking on anyone because of the pandemic. Guys, look, the pandemic's it's gonna keep that going. And think about it. I talk all the time about supply and demand. There's 5 plumbers getting out for every 1 that gets in. Well, maybe this whole year, for every 5 plumbers getting out, a half get in or a quarter get in. And I mean a half of a plumber. So for every 10 plumbers, 1 gets in. Or for every 20 plumbers, 1 gets in. Because it's harder to get in right now. But guys, the older plumbers are still retiring. Supply and demand. And remember, I'm saying plumbing, but I mean plumbing, electrical, landscaping, irrigation, HVAC, roofing, window cleaning. There's so many things out there that the supply and demand, the trades, are going to be hurting for people. And guys, when they're hurting for people, they pay more. Remember that. When there's not enough plumbers to take care of the city of Dallas, plumbers are going to charge more, and they're going to say, hey, this is what it's going to take to get me out there. And if you say no, that's fine. They don't have to come to you. Figure it out yourself, or call a handyman or call somebody that doesn't know what they're doing and see what happens. My thing is, guys, true, legitimate, honest, licensed plumbers that are doing a great job, that are learning and taking care of their people, are going to be fantastic.
This is kind of a 2-part one. Super J started off by saying, LOL, let's talk about grease and drain. And then he said this.
Well, I'll tell you what, and look, Super J, I love this. 20 grease calls this week. Man, look, grease calls aren't my favorite in the world. Just because, man, I know I got to clean my snake. I know I've got a hydrojet. I got to do a bunch of different things. But I will tell you this. Thank God, man, that's 20 calls this week. And if you can run those 20 calls, and while you're there, did you check the water heater? Did you check the water in the house for chlorine? Did you check for hardness to see if they need a filtration system or a anti-scaler or something like that? There's a lot of different things out there that I promise you, it leads to opportunities. And look, I'm not saying upsell people to stuff they don't need, but guys, while you're there, do you look and see what else is wrong? Do you look and say, man, you've got a water heater that's 20 years old. You might want to change that out, because if you're there at the time, it's a great way to do it. Great way to talk to them about it, at least make them aware of it. Then they know you've done something good. you've informed them. Like I said, never sell anybody anything that they don't need. But there's nothing wrong with, while you're there, hey, look, I checked out your water heater. It is 12 years old. You're right in that area where it's time to start thinking about it and time to start watching it to see if you've got any problems or anything like that. You never know. Juan Santana, there we go. So I've told y'all I got to get my eyes fixed. I have a C36 on 1118. Wish me luck, please. Now, I'm assuming you're in California then, because see, I try to study plumbing every day. C36, if I'm not mistaken, that's the California contractor's license. Am I right, Juan? If you'll put a note in there and let me know. But man, either way, guys, look, when y'all get ready to study for a plumbing exam or contractors, depending on where you're at, man, I'm praying for y'all. Because I tell you, it is such, and I've got a plumber this week going down to Austin to take a test. And it's funny because I've been, for the last year and a half probably, fighting with politicians in Texas because I don't think that what they're doing is right. They're trying to take the license out of one agency, put it under another. There's a lot of things that they're doing that, like I said, I don't think it's right. But when I was talking to my plumber this week, because one of the things they're trying to do, they're trying to make it where you can go to all the local cities, meaning he could just go to Dallas and take the written exam and then probably go over to the Union and Mesquite and take the practical. But I got to tell you, he's going to Austin, and I told him, I said, I got to tell you, when I walked in there, took my exam, and I walked out, and he just started laughing. He says, it's like a rite of passage. And it's a big deal. So Juan, look, brother, hats off to you. I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for you. I hope you pass. I hope it goes well. And, man, jump back in here next week. Okay, 8/11. So, jump back in here. It won't be next week. It'll be the week after. But jump back in here and let us know, what all are you studying? And maybe even tell us now, what all are you studying and what are you having to do to get ready for it? I mean, is it just studying plumbing, or is it the California business law, tax code, stuff like that? I know that there's a lot of different things, but do me a favor. Let me know what I'll study, but then jump in after you take it and let us know how you did. Because I'm telling you, man, you got our support, because everybody in here has either done it or is going to, so we know what you're going through. Some of us, I've been down for every endorsement that there is. So I've been, except for the inspector's license, never wanted to do that. I Hate Jeremy says, Megapress G, worth the investment for a solo gas. Only guy, or stick it out with threading for now. I tell you what, I love my Megapress. Now, I bought it for the Pro Press, but I bought the Megapress lugs because I had a job that would pay for it. And what I mean by that is I knew I wanted it, but we bid a big compressed air job. And I sold this compressed air job based on the fact of I can do it quicker than most people can do it for you, because I knew this company and what they were wanting done. And look, when you're dealing with an industrial company, time is money. And I know that from all my years out at Texas Instruments and things like that. So I sold this job based on the fact that I told them, look, I will come in advance and measure everything up. I will come in and prefab everything. I will have it all stacked right here in a remote area that you give me. And then in one night, I will come in and install every fabrication to where you're never shut down. And that's what got me the job. And I did that. I included the price of the Pro Press and Mega Press in it to help me save on labor, because I knew I could do that installation quicker like that in the evenings. And I got to tell you, it worked, and it worked well. So I Hate Jeremy, man, I got to tell you, I'm like you. I love having that tool. We don't use it very often because, like I said, I'm a residential service provider. But I will tell you this, man, when I use it. I love it. I love having it around. And I think that's something that really benefits me as a small company, is the fact that most other plumbing companies don't invest in it. man, hold on to your money. Don't do it. I'm telling them that, not y'all. Doom DeFuido, sprinkler fitter, union, or open shop, AC tech. Man, you need to go take my mini course. And I've got a free mini course. There's a link to it from one of my YouTube videos for how to get started as an apprentice, or how to learn as an apprentice, or how to get into it. In that video, I asked people, do you want to do residential or commercial? Do you want to do service or new construction? Do you want to do union or non-union? I ask a lot of questions to help people solve problems like this. And because here's my deal. Sprinkler fitter union. You've already told me right there, you're going to do new construction. You're going to be commercial. You're going to be union. The other one is open shop AC tech. Well, an open shop AC tech is probably going to be residential, although you could do commercial. So you're looking at two completely different ends of the spectrum. What I would tell you is go take that mini course, figure out where you think you really want to be, because it is so different in both places, going from one to the other. Now, look, I started out commercial, open shop, non-union. I ended up, at least until recently, union, residential, service, completely different. But guys, man, figure out what you want to be. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of choices. There's a lot of opportunity out there that can make it so good for you. Or you may get into the wrong spot and think, oh my God, I hate plumbing. And it's not really plumbing you don't like. It is the kind of plumbing that you got into and did the deal. So, man, all I can say is check it out. Make sure you know what make sure you know what it is you want to be, what kind of plumber you want to be, and see if we can figure that out. Super J says, Roger, going off subject, you're going to trade in your Jeep for a Bronco. Okay, I can definitely answer that question. Super J, the answer is no. Man, I've never been a Ford guy, and I probably just pissed a lot of y'all off, and probably a lot of y'all just signed off. Don't give me thumbs down on that. Give me thumbs up. Here's my deal. I've always been a Chevy guy. I'm a bow tie boy. One of my first vehicles was a 1980 Chevy Blazer. It was jacked up, 4-wheel drive. I had a full race engine put in it, and it was just freaking amazing. So I've always been a Chevy guy. But I got to tell you, here lately, I've been looking at a Ford truck. And, you know, maybe Chevy or Ford or somebody will say, hey, that guy's got a sponsorship wall open. We should talk to him. Because I've been looking for a Ford truck. And I got to tell you, we've ordered some new vans for the company. They're Ford vans. They're extended. They're super tall. There's a lot of good things about them. But, man, I've never been a Ford guy. But I went and looked at a Ford truck as a customized truck, and it was jacked up. It had 37-inch tires on it, I think, which might be smaller than what are on my Jeep. I don't remember if I've got 37s or 40s on my Jeep. Maybe I do have 37s. But, man, the neat thing about it is it was a good-looking truck. And I've never been a Ford guy. I've got friends that drive Fords. I've always, all my life, been a Chevy guy. So, now I'll tell you what, though. If they come out with a new Chevy Blazer and they do it right, where you can take off the top and stuff like that, that was my favorite thing, is pulling half that top off. I think that's why I like the Jeep so much, is, man, I can pull that top off. I can take the doors off. I can get out and get rowdy. I've got my sister and brother-in-law live about 90 miles north, and we can get out there and go playing and have fun, carry our guns around. They've got airboats. Man, we can just go out there and tear stuff up and have a good time. Foxbox 923 in the house says, once I move to Utah, I'm going to join the union and start as an apprentice, hopefully. I'll tell you this, Foxbox, go ahead and start checking into it now. I know we've got a video up. Will went through and put a link into it where we've got a video, about the union and union plumbers. How do you find what union is yours? And there's a link, and you click on it and go click your area. If you're moving to Salt Lake City, Utah, go to Utah, see what the union is. It's up there. Check it out and jump in and see what happens. But I'd call them and talk to them and say, hey, look, I'm moving up there. I'm thinking about doing this. I'm thinking about doing this, and talk to them. You may find out it may be easier to get in the union somewhere else if you really want to do that. Or you may find out, look, it's easier to go open shop up here. I got to tell y'all, look, I love the union training program. I think that they are smart in the way that they've got things set up, and I think it helps, like I said, the employees. I think it helps people that want to get into the trades. All the unions, not just the United Association, the IBEW, the electricians union, sheet metal, the whole 9 yards. There are some great unions to get in that I think have a training program that'll really help you. But I got to tell you, look, I've studied PHCC. I've watched companies that send their people to PHCC. And PHCC's got a great training program too. And, I know that I talk about the union, but one of my apprentices actually looked at the PHCC program and said, look, I'd rather not go to the union. I'd rather go to PHCC. So look and see what all your options are, meaning your only option may not be the union. It may be a good one. And if you never want to own your own company, maybe a great one. But if you ever want to own your own company, I'm going to tell you right now, as a small plumbing company, man, being a union company is kind of hard to do. I've had a company for 5 years. I think I've given them almost $400,000. So be very careful in what you choose to do and how you choose to do it, because, think of your long-term goals. And I've got videos about that too. Always think about your future. Where do you want to be? What goal are you working towards? Now, those goals may change, and always be ready for that. Be able to pivot, be able to turn, be able to say, hey, I'm going to do something different. The reason being, you never know what opportunities will come along. And guys, this YouTube, this is all an opportunity for me. I had an opportunity to go learn how to advertise for my company, and I saw an opportunity with YouTube, and I did it. And I got to tell you, it's been really good. But, man, it's all about plumbing and doing it right. And if I had not studied and learned and grown in plumbing the way that I have, if I didn't branch off and have so much experience in different areas, it'd be really hard to do. Guitar 1301 says, make sure to let us know when the mustache masks are coming out. There's been a lot of talk about these mustache masks. And, I hadn't seen one. Will, have you seen one? Not in person. Not in person. So that tells you that there may be designs out there. And I may have seen a design somewhere. But, guys, all I can say is subscribe and ring the bell, because when this stuff comes out, you're going to want to see it. So Guitar 1301, if anything like that were to come out anytime soon, I would say probably make sure that you've subscribed and ring the bell so you get the notification when changes are being made. Because if something like that were to come out, we would sure make a big deal about it, I'm sure. Grant Pritchard in the house. How are we doing today? What's your most used tool? Man, I got to tell you. And I hate to say it because they're not on my sponsor wall. I can't get them to talk to me. I love carrying my multi-tool with me every day. And I can't tell you how many times a day I use it on jobs, in here, in the field, if I'm doing an install. There's a lot of different things that I've used it for. A flashlight, a pencil. Having a pencil with me on a job site, huge. Man, as for most used tool, it's probably my multi-tool. But the funny thing about it is it really depends on what job you're on, what kind of job you're on, what kind of tools you're going to need the most. And I have people ask me all the time, Roger, will you do a video about what's in your tool bag? Now, I'll tell you what, if y'all didn't see the video about the Vito Pro Pack tool bag that we got, oh my God, I love that thing. But when I do a video about it, it's going to be what I use inside my tool bag because I'm a residential service plumber. So, Grant Pritchard, I'd ask you, what kind of plumber are you, or what kind of plumber do you want to be? There's a lot of tools that cross over. Pipe wrenches, big crescent wrenches, channel locks, hammers, yada, yada, yada. But as a commercial plumber, maybe it's an anchor setting tool. Maybe it's, different things like that, a chalk box, things for laying out. But for a residential plumber, God, it could be a basin wrench, a tub wrench, a seat tool. I mean, there's so many different tools that one uses that the other one doesn't, that it does. It's a big deal. Sorry about that. I needed a little bit of cold water there. I'm not even pronouncing that one. I'm going to say dash hound. Probably pretty close. I'm a first-year apprentice, and I usually work with PEX and ABS, but recently, working with cast iron and copper made me realize how difficult plumbing can be. And I got to tell you, it's not difficult. And working with cast iron and copper just lets you know that there's different opportunities out there, and they're always going to be. Working with PEX and ABS, here in Texas, we'd say PEX and PVC. But here's the deal. Learning to use cast iron and learning to use copper, it's a different material. And the good thing about learning how to use all of it is that you're going to broaden your knowledge. If you ever own your company one day, you're going to have experience doing both. If you ever go to another company, you're going to have experience doing both. So I would tell you, look, plumbing is not hard. It's not always as easy as just plastic pipe that sticks together or something. And I know PEX and ABS don't just stick together, but my thought is I go back to one of those cars, those models that I had when I was a kid. I loved the ones that glued together, and you built a really cool looking model. I really didn't care for the ones that just stuck together. I mean, in 5 minutes, you stick the whole thing together and it's done. And I'm like, that is really not what I had in mind.
I want to say that Cliff just gave you a super chat.
Mr. Cliff, I appreciate that. Was there a question with it? I saw the super chat pop up, but I didn't see a question.
No question. He's just got a little gift there of a guy saying incredible.
I love that. I love that, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Cliff. Here's what I like is learning different things is the reason I think I'm where I'm at today. So think about this. If I couldn't talk to you about anything other than residential service plumbing, if I couldn't talk to you about commercial, if I couldn't talk to you about new construction, if I couldn't talk to you about the union, if all I could talk to you about was residential service plumbing, it might not be very interesting. But the neat thing about me, and this is why I love helping people, is because, look, I have seen both sides of it. I have helped construction. I've helped service. I've helped new builds. I've helped residential. So residential, commercial, service, new construction, union, non-union. I have people across the country and around the world reach out and say, hey, look, if I want to get better, what do I do? And my thing is, you've got an opportunity. You have an opportunity to learn to get really good at something new, and I think it'll help you, and it'll help you grow.
Go ahead and give another shout out to Mr. Creed MC for a super chat. He said, good afternoon from the UK. Keep up the good work.
From the UK, you got to love it. Thank you very much, Creed MC. Man, good to have you in here. Thank you, sir. The thing is, guys, don't get upset because, look, cast iron and copper may be a little more difficult in the beginning, but later you're going to realize, man, this is good stuff. It's easy to use once you learn to use it. Now, it may not go as fast, but you know what? Your employers know that. I understand if my guys are going to install 100 feet of cast iron pipe, it's going to take longer than it would to install 100 feet of PVC pipe. Look at it as being beneficial. You got more hours today. You got more hours this week. maybe your company made more money, and they'll be able to spend more money on training or education and help you out. So there's a lot of great opportunity there. Learn everything that you can. Jackson LaFoe says, hey, Roger, I'm trying to become self-employed and start a plumbing business. Any advice? Don't do it. No, I'm joking. Here's the deal. Look, I love the fact that I did start my own company. And it didn't take long. We got it up to about $1 million a year company. And we've got the opportunity to grow. We're trying to figure out which way we want to go and what we want to do. Jackson, here's what I would tell you is, number one, congratulations for being in that position. The thing that I'll tell you that will scare the hell out of you is when I started my company, I didn't even know what I didn't know. And we've got videos where I talk about different things that people can do to learn and grow and do better, how to start their own company. And look, I've got videos about how to start a company. Who do you talk to? Who do you need on your side? What kind of things do you need in place before you get started? What things can you do before you get started that may help you later? You don't have to just walk out of a job and then start a company. I had started putting a few little details in place because I knew that one day I wanted to do it. But the day that I walked out of my job, I knew it was time. And it's like, okay, I don't know for sure what I'm going to do on Monday, but this is where it's all going to start. So, Jackson, what I'll tell you is try everything you can to start getting things in place now. Get your licensing, get your name, get a bank account set up, maybe get a web page built, maybe join networking groups. Do anything you can to get started, because anything you can do now will help speed up that process later. And the networking that I talk about, that can change your life.
This one here is a super chat from Implicit 6, and he had a question, so I sent it over to you.
I love that. I actually see it. Okay. Implicit 6 says, I sell Sewering, and I've heard about it, leak detection equipment. I'd love to have an opportunity to show you what it can do sometimes in person. What's the best way to set up an appointment? You live in the colony. I'm over in Richardson. You can always send me, and those of y'all, man, and I don't always ask for it, which I should. Y'all do me a favor. If y'all see pictures or get videos of bad plumbing, of crazy plumbing, just things that are different. I've got a plumber friend that sends me pictures. He's found like a possum in a sewer line live and helped get it out. He sent me the pictures of that house. If y'all have not seen our video, worst plumbing job I've ever seen, go check it out. Anyway, you can send me an email to videos@rogerwakefield.com. Send me an email, ask me a question. But guys, preferably if you're doing that, send me some pictures, send me some videos, or if you want to talk to me about some equipment, yeah, be interested in looking at it, seeing what you got. I'm real big on Leaktronics. I think Leaktronics is one of the best pieces of equipment I've ever used. And I've used 4 or 5 different brands. So, yeah, I'd be happy to see it and see what they got. I appreciate any opportunity for something like that. So, Implicit 6, all I'm saying is, man, shoot me a email. We'll schedule a time to visit and see what you got and see what we can do. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And guys, look, I love learning about new product, about new tools, about new materials. I really think that, the only way we gain knowledge is by learning new things. Let's go back to the copper and cast iron a while ago. You can get stuck on PEX and ABS and PVC, but learning something new like cast iron and copper can really teach you and show you that there's a lot of opportunity out there and a lot of different ways to do things. Hopefully, you can learn how to use them all, and it can help you a lot. So I think that's great. I appreciate it very much. Did I erase that one too soon? I just made one go away. Was that the Implicit 6 one? I thought you put another one up, and I
put one up.
I think I hit the button on it too quick.
Yeah, let me go back.
He will pull that back up. So if your question was just up, please don't go anywhere. I'm trying to multitask here. So
here it is. Let me put it back up real quick.
Here we go. There we go. Roger, I live in California. My house was built in the 1930s. Water pressure sucks. Out water heater sucks. Okay, here we go. Water heater was changed in 2017 from one that was installed in 1996. Well, I'd say from 96 to 17, you got your money's worth. That's pretty cool. El Corcoran. Sorry about that. Here's what I'd tell you is, what is your piping? Is it made out of galvanized? What kind of piping do you have? You're in California, so I'm assuming there's not a basement. I'm assuming that it's a slab house. One thing that you may be able to try, and it depends on if it's got a lot of sediment in it. It depends on a lot of things. One thing that we've done here before in the past is we've been able to take either somebody's valve box apart or take it apart at the meter and blow compressed air backwards through the system. And sometimes you'll get something in there clogging it up. I think the very first thing that I'd ask would be, is it low water pressure throughout your entire house? Or is it just on the hot water side? Or is it just at one sink or one shower? We'll get people that'll call us out and say, look, I have no hot water. I need a plumber. We get up there. It's like, well, I don't have any water at this shower. It's like, well, but you said you didn't have any hot water. I said, well, I don't at that shower. I've got it everywhere else. Well, and I could have probably talked them through that before I ever got out there. So what I would say is figure out what all the problems are, figure out what piping. And, man, if you want to shoot me an email or whatnot, do whatever you can. I'll get back with you. Do you have anything? Oh, I saw you moving around. I thought, okay, Will's either got to leave the room or I messed something up. Micah Boyd, would you recommend someone starting a YouTube channel about plumbing for DIY homeowners? Absolutely. That's where I got my start. Go back and look at my first videos. I literally made videos to teach people about that. Mike, I'd ask you, number one, are you a plumber? Meaning if you're not, you may not want to do plumbing videos. If you're not a plumber, what could your channel be about? Look, I'm not going to ever be the only plumber on YouTube. I get that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to do things different. I started out as almost a complete DIY channel. Then I started realizing I had more plumbers, more people that wanted to get in the trades, more people that were apprentices that wanted to become a great plumber, and then more people that wanted to eventually own their own plumbing company or already did, and they were reaching out to me saying, hey, look, I want to learn this, I want to learn this, I want to learn this. And once you start a channel, you'll figure out that people will start asking you questions or kind of tell you what it is they're looking for. And if you can be that person to give them what they're looking for, then you'll do good. And look, like I said, we started with DIY. And every now and then we'll still do one because somebody will call me and say, man, I really wish you'd make this video. Or they'll shoot us an email or whatever it is. But it's kind of fun because I get to communicate with them and figure out what it is they're looking for, or Will does, and he'll say, man, look, I've been talking to this person that has really been looking for this and really been looking for this. What can we do? And I'll tell you what, it works great. Joe Carr says, Florida plumber, I just got my master's license. What's the next step in your mind? Number one, Joe, and look, a lot of that's going to be up to you. But I go back to something I talked about earlier. Everybody remember, know what your end game is. Are you wanting to join the union and work till you can retire and get a full pension? Full pension in the union probably pays $2,500 a month. And think about it. If you're in high school right now and got out at 18, join the apprentice training program, join the union immediately and put in 30, 35 years. Oh my God, you'd have a nice pension. But you may say, that's not what I want to do. I want to eventually own my own company. Well, you probably don't want to join the union. You probably want to do residential. You probably want to do service or new construction. I mean, that's your choices in residential. But to me, Service is easier to start if you learn it and if you're good at it. So there's a lot of opportunity there, Joe. I would go back and look at what kind of plumber do you want to be? What kind of where do you want to be in 5 or 10 years? Because that's what it all gets down to. We each have a different path. We each have a different road that we're on. And I think, to be honest, we each want to end up in different places. So that's really a question for you. If you're eventually wanting to own your own company, I'd start looking in Florida, since you are a master plumber now, what is required for you to open your own company? Is it insurance? Is there testing? Do you have to take business classes? What do you have to do that can literally help you get to where you want to be? Your plumbing license is just a vehicle to get there in. If you want to be a business owner, your plumbing license can help get you there, but there's still things you're going to have to do. Prepper Chris and one is in the house. Hi, Roger. I'm installing a Durastall shower stall. Should I rock behind it? All the videos, they don't. You know what? I don't think the Durastall you have to. I don't know that you'll have room to. I've seen some shower stalls that it was smart to put some kind of reinforcement behind it. I don't think the Durastall you have to. What you want to make sure is it's setting on level ground. So when you get in and you shift, it doesn't wobble, it doesn't move. You may want to put a mud base down or a mortar base down, something solid. And then, to be honest, I would like hardy board the top, something like that, put tile on it. That way it goes all the way up. But I'll tell you this, Prepper Chris, if I was changing out a shower now, I would probably also open up anything. I would put in like a rain shower head. I'd put in maybe body sprays. I would put in anything that I could just to give me an amazing shower. Even if it is a Durastall, I'm assuming it's a 3x3. Even if it was something like that, I would do anything I could to make it as neat as I could, to do as much cool stuff as I could. And while you're swapping it out already, it's the time to do it. It's not going to cost you that much more. Now, as for the sheetrock behind it, I'm telling you, you may not have room. Normally people put sheetrock and hardy board, stuff like that, only if they're going to tile. They may do the sheetrock and then the hardy board. And I've seen some just go hardy board directly on the studs. But there's a lot of different things you can do. I don't think you have to put sheetrock behind it, though. Michael Boyd again says, as a service tech, would I recommend finding a good company to work for and sticking with them? Or would you recommend trying to go out on your own? Michael, that's a good one, because I think that what I would do first is, if you already know, look, I'm a great service technician, I got this down. And if you do stuff like that and you've got it, then there's nothing wrong with starting your own company. If you don't know anything about running a business and working for another company might help you learn, that's a great opportunity for you. And especially if you can come in and it's a good company, they're going to take care of you and you're going to learn along the way. And maybe you have an opportunity to step up as a service manager. Maybe eventually you have an opportunity to step up as an operations manager where you learn even more. I'm all about learning while other people are paying you. If you can put yourself in that position, it's going to be good for you. And maybe it is going to another company, learning what they stock their trucks with. What do they use most of the time? What products is it that they use every day on their trucks that you really need to stock? And start learning that, getting your systems and processes down. Because I got to tell you, just jumping in and starting your own company is hard to do without a lot of experience. Even with a lot of experience, it's very hard. So we got Burning Vinyl in the house. Greetings from Italy, and glad to have you here. See, we get people from around the world, and I got to tell you, I love that. So Burning Vinyl, I'd ask, are you a plumber, or do you just love hearing the sound of my voice over a plumbing channel? Because believe it or not, I have met people that came up to me at a video marketing event, and it's like, oh my God, you're Roger the plumber. I listen to all your videos and I love them. I'm like, that's great, man. Are you in plumbing? Are you wanting to get in plumbing? What are you wanting to do? And he's like, oh my God, no, I would never do plumbing. But I found your videos and just the way you talk, I love listening to your voice and kind of thought that was funny. But
before we continue on, I just want to tell people, if you ask a question, just be patient. We will get to it. We just are running very behind. I see some people asking their question 2 or 3 times. Just be a little patient. We will get to it.
And guys, that's a big deal is, look, y'all can tell by when questions were asked how quick we're getting to them. And I do. I try to give everybody good answers. That's why we're doing it the way we are tonight. I'm not in here just bantering back and forth with a lot of people. Like, I don't even know if Paul Peck and Neil or any of those guys are in here. Great people. But I don't even see the chat, so I don't even know. So anytime people like that jump in and say, hey, just want to say hello too. So Sandy Friedman says, wait, let me get this right. Shandy Friedman says, hi, thanks for your channel. Could you please make hands-on service plumbing? You know what? We try to do a lot of that. The thing is, I don't get out in the field near as much as I used to. I'm in here running a company, which we probably ought to start making videos about that. But anytime I get an opportunity to get out in the field and do things, man, Friedman, I try. I love it. Number one, I still enjoy it. I love this trade. I love getting out there. All right, Prepper Chris, that ain't even funny.
I thought that one was really funny.
That is not funny, Will. Okay, that ain't even funny. I like that. No, Julie Wakefield is my wife and my boss all at the same time, so figure that one out. I'm sure she loved that, though. She looks young enough to be my daughter. Stephen Comtoy says, which type of plumbing is most difficult, mental or physically? You know, I think it changes over time. In the beginning, it's mental because you know nothing. You're learning. You are literally, I mean, you come into plumbing with a blank mind. You don't know the answers. You don't even know what questions to ask. By the time you learn all the questions and all the answers, now you realize, dang, my body's old. I hurt. I'm tired. This is tough to do. So I really do. I think in the beginning, the mental is tough, but if you study it hard and you really try to be a good plumber, you're going to learn fast and it's going to help you. So, man, yeah, I think in the beginning it's mental, later it's physical. My bathroom sink gets a sewer smell, methane gas, after you flush the toilet and run the water to the sink. Is the toilet drain creating a vacuum, pulling water out of your P-trap? How do you fix it? And it could be a lot of different things. You could have a bad wax ring. There could be a leak in the wall. Tell me this, is there a tub or shower in there that maybe does or doesn't get used? A lot of time that gas could be coming up through that. Here's the deal. If it happens often, I would probably run a smoke test because I want to see if anything's leaking. Is anything leaking the gas that I can find? Because if so, then I can fix it. So I'd try to do anything I could to figure out where it is for sure. But if there's a tub in there or a shower that's not getting used often, that could be it also. Ronaldo Garcia's in the house. How are we doing? Good afternoon. What size channel locks would you recommend your first pair to be? If you're just getting one pair for your first day at the office, I would say a medium-sized. I've got I think on my channel lock brands, I've got 410s, 420s, 430s. I go all the way up to like the I think they call them the big ass channel locks, 460s or something. And, for my very first one, I would think about going in the medium size. You want one that'll fit a lot of things. You don't want just a little bitty pair and you don't want just a super huge pair. So I do like the idea of maybe going into the middle. So, I made that one go away. 17, wanting to get into plumbing. Sorry about that. 17, about to buy a van for plumbing and start service. And at 21, you're getting your license. Well, if you're buying it at 17 and you're starting plumbing at 21, man, you ought to have it fully stocked, custom built, shelved, decked out, whole 9 yards. Good for you. So Son Goku, man, look, and I love it to see, and this is one of my favorite things about doing this. I have so many people get in and say, look, I'm 14. I want to get into plumbing when I get out of school. I'm 17. I'm buying tools now. You know, look, a lot of people are a lot smarter than I was, because what they're doing is they're preparing. And, you know, man, if we all learn to think like that and do that and get things done, man, that's a cool deal. I love that. I love seeing people do that. Jacob Davis says, I'm trying to get your certificate for backflow repair and testing. Do you have resources to find more information? Yeah, the ASSE, the American Society of Sanitary Engineers. I don't remember what the code is for their backflow preventer, but that's the standard everybody teaches by. I actually used to have my backflow certification device. I actually got a 5-gauge test kit somewhere around, or 5 hose or 3-gauge. I don't remember what all it is now. But, man, it's been a while. But my thing is, where I'm located and with what we charge, it was a lot cheaper for me to hire other people to do it because of registrations in different cities and things like that. So I ended up just not really doing it.
Before you go, I want to let you know, Brian just gave us a super chat.
Brian, you got to love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Corey Troutman says, should a P-trap be super clean with just water in it? Or will it all be nasty with whatever's inside it? You know, Corey, that's a good one, because you can take a kitchen sink or a lavatory sink that people have used for years that have hairsprays, gels, toothpaste, stuff like that, and it may get a black film or something like that. So it's not always perfectly clean. Whenever I take apart a P-trap to work on a drain or anything like that, I always like to clean them out. Don't do my very first mistake. Kid you not, first time I removed a P-trap, I saw the gunk in it, and I had already emptied it in my bucket. So I just reached up and turned the faucet on. I'm rinsing out this P-trap. As soon as I poured it and it fell in the cabinet below, I thought, man, I messed up. Anyway, look, guys, I'm honest. It is what it is. Dave Moulton says, I'm a Red Seal sprinkler fitter and a Red Seal plumber. In my union, plumbing is way easier on the body. And, in your opinion. And you know, look, plumbing's not hard on your body. But remember, I've been doing it 40 years. And when I started, we worked harder, not smarter. Meaning, I still remember climbing a ladder with like 10-foot joints of 4-inch and 6-inch on my shoulder and going up and sliding it in clevis hangers to hang it. So, you know, look, plumbing is not super hard on your body. It'll help make you take care of your body. And there's a lot of things that we can do to, God, just work smarter, use the right tools, get a roustabout, get the right things for the job, get dollies. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do to make it all better.
He put that up shortly after the super chat, so I think that's what he wanted.
Perfect. So. Two Brian says, I'm going to be a senior this year. What should I do in order to become a plumber? You know, and man, like I was just talking about, look, I love these questions and I love these guys. So Two Brian, number one, thank you very much. Here's my thing is, start thinking about what kind of plumber you want to be. And look, I say this often, guys, but I've got that free mini course for a reason. When I got into plumbing, I just knew I wanted to be a plumber. I didn't know there were residential and commercial plumbers. I didn't know there were service and new construction. I didn't know about union and non-union. There's so many things I did not know that I had to learn. And I learned well. And luckily, I bounced around from different things. So literally, I got a broader knowledge, a broader education than I could have ever got by just sticking with one thing. So what I would tell you, first of all, figure out what kind of plumber you think you want to be. And once you figure that out, you know, I've got videos about the UPC study guide, the Uniform Plumbing Code, and the IPC study guide, the International Plumbing Code. And, you know, Two Brian, what I would say is learn to study those. Start looking at what kind of code can you learn. Figure out where you're at. What kind of code do they build by? What are the requirements in your municipality? And when you can start figuring all that stuff out and you know what to study and what to look at, look, man, plumbing is phenomenal. And there's a lot to it. But once you learn it, it just starts clicking. You start seeing and hearing and looking at plumbing systems and houses and buildings completely different because, man, it starts figuring itself out. Well, I don't know how many questions we got left in there. I know we're down to about 5:20, guys. So if y'all would, please slow down on the questions. I've got to get out of here at 5:30 tonight. I got a big meeting in the morning, so we got a lot to do.
About 2 minutes till I'll go ahead and stop putting them up.
Cool. That's cool. So guys, if you got a question, we don't get to it, I'm sorry, but I'll tell you now, we only got about 10 more minutes. So man, hold off on the questions because we're probably not going to get to them. Barney Films 85 says, will we be getting a tour of your new trucks and shelving setup you end up with? Absolutely. Man, I want y'all to know, look, Will stays on me to make sure that we are bringing y'all the videos that y'all are wanting. A lot of them are, hey, Will, look, I know plumbing and people are going to like this, but, just this morning, Will's like, hey, look, we need to do that plumbing van guide. What our van looks like, what it's set up like, what it's stocked with, why we do what we do. And there's a lot of things that we're working on that, man, by the time we get our vans in, which they should be in here in the next week or two, by the time we get these vans in and get them all ordered up and stocked up and set and ready, man, we're excited about this. But Will is on me for it. So Barney Film 85, all I can tell you is absolutely, because that's one we're looking forward to doing. And it's going to be great. So yes, indeed. Joe Romano says, what is the wildest thing you've ever seen in a drain on camera? Probably recently people have sent me videos, not that I've seen personally, but the one where there was a raccoon or a possum or something in a sewer line, and it was live, and it had crawled right between the two-way cleanouts, the 4-inch two-way cleanouts. That was a good one. It blows my mind to seeing some of the cockroaches. One of the worst I've ever seen myself is I was running a camera under a bar and restaurant here in the Dallas area because they were getting sewer smells in the bar area, and they had breaks bad, and the camera showed nothing but sewer flies from one and the other. And I mean, literally, every time you push that camera down, you could just see the walls of the pipe moving because it was filled with sewer flies. And I got to tell you, it was freaking horrible. But, you look at it and you're just like, oh my gosh, how long has this been going on? Man, that was a tough one. That was a tough one. Any age recommendations on when it's too late to start an apprenticeship? You know what, Nick Ortega, that's a good question because I actually, when I was teaching in the union, I had an apprentice in there that was 55 years old. And I got to tell you, he had a great attitude. He came to learn. He wanted to do good. There were so many things that I think he did as well or other than a lot of students in there. But, he was old enough. It was like, look, man, we ain't playing no games. I'm here to learn. I'm here to work. I got things to do. And you know what? If you want to do it bad enough, you can do it. You ain't plumbing. You ain't nothing. I love that name. Are you a Dewalt or Milwaukee user? You know what? I use a little bit of both. It really depends. For my small hand tools, I've got mainly Dewalt. But I got to tell you, I got that little pony pipe threader, the M Fuel 18 from Milwaukee. And man, I love that. That thing's a cool tool. And I love their 18-volt batteries and the power that they have. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've got the 18 on my DeWalt too. But I like both. I've never had a problem with either one of them. And I mean, I've got an old DeWalt that I've had for years. And if y'all saw me do a video here recently don't know if it's a top sink snake or what, but it started, my clutch is going out in it. So it's making some noises that it shouldn't. But at the end of the day, man, I like both of them. Dewalt, Milwaukee, Rigid, everybody's making good tools, guys. And they work hard to improve them continuously. So I'm all over it. Pepsi and Doritos, man, there's another good name. Good day from Australia. You're my guy. I guess that would be me. What do you think of stainless steel water heater units? Now, if you're in Australia, are you talking tankless units? So are you talking a stainless heat exchanger? I have not seen a tank type water heater that is stainless, at least not yet. So, man, don't know what to tell you there. Let me know more about what you're thinking. But I do like that name, Pepsi and Doritos. That's a good one. I have not seen stainless on a full-size tank, but I have seen some stainless tankless heat exchangers, so they're good. Super J says, okay, when do you water test? When you do a water test, shut off meter, why does my gauge raise? Man, you're going to ask me that. Here's why. Your water heater is heating up water and the expansion is making your temperature go up. So, or you've got a homeowner that doesn't want you to know that have a leak and they're putting their mouth on the spout and blowing in it, one or the other. No, it's your water heater. Go in and turn the water heater all the way down to vacation. That way it doesn't fire up. When that water heater heats up, thermal expansion is going to increase the pressure in the tank, but it's also going to increase the pressure in that system. So, think about that next time you do one. And look, I've had it do it to me. So that's where I caught it. It was like, okay, I've got to figure this out. And that was a good one. So Cliff says, wow, DIY here doing some plumbing upgrade to the kitchen sink as we speak. RO system and a new faucet, $99 special. Man, if you're installing a RO system and a new faucet, that is a special and you are a handyman or a DIYer. So yeah, that's a great price for doing those two things, Cliff. I got to tell you, I mean, number one, RO systems, I don't like as much because there's a lot of regen, so they get rid of a lot of water. I do love water filtration systems. I think they're phenomenal. I've got them in my house because of the chlorine and stuff like that, but it's pretty cool. So my crew does yoga before we start our day and pray to the plumbing guys. Man, I got to tell you what, and it's funny because, and don't get me wrong, I don't do yoga. I get up every morning now. I walk 4.25 miles at 4 miles an hour. So I'm trying to get in my morning cardio. Man, I pray on every job I go on. And help me do the right thing. If it's a leak, help me find it. If it's a repair, help me make it right. I am always looking at, what is it that helps separate me from everybody else. And man, I don't mind telling people, I will pray to get the job done right. And hopefully, God's with me and on my side and we get it done. So, but man, that's just me. Chris says, good day to you. Good day to you, sir. What dictates water pressure out of the shower? Kitchen sink, etc. How can I increase shower water pressure coming from the shower head? If it's just the shower, Chris, try taking apart your shower head. They've got a filter in there, and a lot of times calcium and magnesium will build up in there. That's normally one that can be fixed pretty easy. Also, if it's got the rubber dimples on the face of the shower head, try setting it in like a bowl of vinegar just to clean that. You can clean up the calcium and magnesium in there, and that really does make a big difference. And, man, it'll make your shower feel a whole lot better. Having bad pressure to shower, that'll upset a lot of people. Looky there. Mr. Paul Peck, Drywall Tube is in the house. Good to see you, sir. Guys, if y'all have not gone over to Paul Peck's, and I'm sure he's been busy and crazy and stuff like that, but, jump over there, subscribe to Paul Peck's channel. Paul Peck is a sheetrocker, and what I love about it, he's drywall, he's tape and bed and texture and how to fix holes, and we're plumbers. We know how to make holes. And a lot of times the things that I learn over there, I think about when I'm doing my job. And it's like, okay, if I cut this hole, you know, it's almost a WWPD. What would Paul do? So I look at it and say, okay, here's what I'm going to do here. So if you have not ever met Paul or anything like that, go over and subscribe to his channel. You know, jump in one of his videos and say, hey, Roger told me to come tell you hello. He's a great guy and doing good things here on YouTube. And man, he's wearing me out. I mean, he's got over 100,000 subs, killing it, but it's because he makes great videos. He does good things and talks about great things.
Do you want to go ahead and do one more? It's 5:30.
Yeah, give me one more.
Okay.
Give me one more just because I'm in a good mood.
He did correct this one to say partners instead of parents. So read it that way.
I like that. You ain't plumbing, you ain't nothing. And guys, this will be the last question. I think it went good tonight. Let me know what y'all think. If y'all like what we're doing, give me a thumbs up. That lets me know. We tried it a little different tonight, having Will in here with me to help keep control of the comments and questions and stuff like that. I don't like not seeing who all's in here just every now and then. And I pulled my phone down, and of course, I can't see it at all. But I like this question because I had a lot of people when I was first starting to talk about opening my company. They're like, hey, man, I'll go into business with you. I'll do this. And I mean, even after I got it started, I had a lot of people come up to me and say, hey, look, if you ever need an investor, you know, I'd love to invest in it and love to do that. And I don't have partners in my company other than my wife. You know, Julie is my boss. She runs the back end of the company. I run, I don't know, nothing really. I just get to hang out and look good. But, you know, somebody's got to do that. So, oh, I hear a siren. They're coming to get me. I'll be getting out of here pretty quick. Don't know if y'all hear it or not. I hear it. But, you know, the thing is, I don't have partners. I've thought about selling the company before, and then I'm faced with that dilemma. Do I sell it all or do I keep a percentage? That way, if I sell it to the right people and they grow it and do it really, really well, I'm involved with it. But also, I love having a plumbing company in order to get out and do what I do. So, man, that was a great question. I appreciate it. Guys, I'm fixing to get out of here. If you are watching us on a replay and this is the first time to watch us, God, I'm so glad you hung around this long. What I will tell you is, look, y'all check out the videos. We've got a lot of great videos in here. Share this with people that you think it may help. There's a lot of people that could benefit from learning about the trades, that could benefit about learning a way to learn their way up. And that's why we do what we do. We want to help people say, look, every kid doesn't have to go to college. Every kid's not going to go to college. But the ones that don't, the trades can be a great option and great career choice for them. If you have not subscribed and rang the bell, please do so you get notified when we do what we do. And if you like this video, do me a favor, take a minute, give us a thumbs up and comment and let me know what you think. So I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been a good evening. And I say evening, it's starting to get late here. But make sure you come back next week, because by next week, I should be able to talk about some of this cool stuff going on. And I'd love nothing more than to be able to share it with you. Anyway, thanks to Will. Thanks to Paul Peck for jumping in here. Thanks to Julie Wakefield, one of the moderators, for jumping in. I'm not sure, did you see Neil jump in, the Urban Explorer, tonight?
I didn't see him. He may have jumped in late and we just didn't get to him, but I didn't see him.
If he did, hello, Neil. Amber Mendoza, Grayson, thank you all for what y'all do. I appreciate everybody being here. Appreciate the help. And I really am glad y'all came by. I'm Roger Wakefield, lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.